From the cast being in their very own biker gang, to a super realistic staged plane crash that led to actual panic in the city, these are Chicago Fire's most shocking behind-the-scene moments. Some people can't stand the thought of spending more time with people from work, but that's not the case for the awesome cast and crew from Chicago Fire. They've picked the most adrenaline-pumping activity there is to bond. That's right. There's more excitement for the gang off-screen. They've got their own biker gang going on. Can you believe it? These stars love the adrenaline rush both on and off the set. Taylor Kinney spilled the beans about his off-screen hangouts with the lovely lady Monica Raymond, who also hopped on the biking bandwagon. They'd zip around Chicago, making sure nobody knew it was them, by wearing helmets. What a sly move. Then, they convinced another co-star, the one and only Eamon Walker, to join their wild rides. And hey, it's not just all about speed and adventure for these stars. Kinney also took part in a memorial motorcycle ride to honor a former police chief, showing us they've got big hearts to match their passion for bikes. So whether the cast is tackling intense scenes on screen or tearing up the streets on their bikes, these guys sure know how to keep the excitement alive. Take David Eigenberg, aka Hairman, for example. He's not satisfied with just playing a firefighter on screen. The actor decided to go on a real-life, intense ride-along with some firefighting heroes in Chicago. Let me tell you, this ride-along was no walk in the park. They once got a call about a car wreck with a kid trapped inside. Luckily, the kid was okay, but witnessing such a scene had a major impact on David. It made him realize the importance of driving safer and ditching the need for speed. Safety first, folks. Still, this group won't let anything come in the way of making their show more awesome. Like you might have wondered if they use real fire in those fiery scenes on the show. Well, guess what? Reach us. They sure do. The crew goes all out, using real fire to make those heart-pounding moments feel as authentic as possible. Isn't that crazy? Jason Crothers, the cinematographer extraordinaire, spilled the deets on how it all goes down. Outdoor scenes are shot on location, while indoor fires are carefully controlled in what they call the burn stage. Safety's the name of the game, and they take their sweet time setting up each shot, making sure everything's just right. After all, we don't want our fearless firefighters turning into roasted marshmallows. Overall, it takes up a lot of time and a lot of effort to pull it off, but you can tell the cast pulls all stops to make the show great. Like they even bring in real-life firefighters to play extras on the show. These guys aren't only saving lives in real emergencies, they're also lighting up the screen with their acting skills. The network loves hiring actual firefighters, because they even bring their own gear and hoses to help out the prop department. Now that's what I call dedication. Some of these extras are so pumped to be there that they bring their families along for the ride, even if it means getting up at the crack of dawn. You won't believe this, but some characters in the show are based on actual people, like the real Chief Bowden, played by the incredible Eamon, sometimes pops by the set for a consultation. He's got 36 years of firefighting experience under his belt, so you know, he's the real deal. What's more is that it's not enough for these actors to just be a firefighter, but you also gotta have that knack for bringing these characters to life. If you thought landing the role of an injured victim at the very least is gonna be easy, think again. The producers don't mess around when it comes to those electrifying scenes. You gotta be super qualified to nail those specialist roles. Every single episode has at least 2 characters with some seriously scary injuries. I'm talking about stuck, squished, or sporting random objects sticking out of their necks or heads. Yikes. Now, to make that look real, you can't just fake it with some ketchup and Band-Aids. Nope, you need some legit skills. The casting director even cracked a joke about it, saying he promised the producers to start an acting class just for this crazy skill. Imagine that 101. How to portray a nail-gunned, fork-eyed victim. It might sound bizarre, but trust me, there's a whole technique to auditioning and playing these out-of-this-world roles. You gotta be a master of expression and movement to make it look natural and believable. But their shocking dedication to authenticity doesn't end there. Even the firehouse is the real deal. It's an actual working Chicago Fire Department firehouse, Station 18, baby. Okay, sure, some parts are stage sets like the Firehouse 51 kitchen, but hey, that's showbiz for you. If you see a door to the left of the cooking area, you're in the studio set. But if there's a drinking fountain to the left, you've hit the jackpot. It's the real Firehouse. But you know what's even more amusing? The show's title itself caused a lot of confusion in the Windy City for the first couple of years. Local Chicagoans heard Chicago Fire and thought, wait a minute, is this some soccer thing? The name actually shared itself with a major local sports team, the Chicago Fire Soccer Club. Our hero Kinney shared some hilarious tales from his early days on set. People would hear he was part of Chicago Fire and immediately ask, "Are you a soccer player?" Poor guy had to brush up on his offside rules to handle the sports questions like a pro. But now that the show's blown up with a whole Chicago One universe devoted to exploring all these stories, every person on the street knows what the show is. And speaking of which, you know those epic crossover episodes that fans like us go gaga over?
Seeing their favorite characters jump from one show to another in the Chicago Fire universe, can they blame us for getting all pumped up? But surprisingly, it's a whole different story behind the scenes. Super producer Dick Wolf talked about the intense process of putting these crossovers together. Shockingly, the cast hates working on these episodes. It's like herding fiery cats, I tell ya.
They shoot on Saturdays as well, and it's one heck of a complicated process. Lots of reshooting, lots of head scratching, and lots of, why did this character go that way? The grind is real, my friends. And picture this. People working 16 days straight. No breaks, no Netflix and chill, no pampering Sundays. I mean, just thinking about it makes me want to lie down and take a 2-hour nap for them. But here's the crazy part. Even with all the exhaustion and chaos, they keep coming back for more. It's like doing something super hard and thinking, wow, that was nuts. I'm never doing it again. Yet, every single year, they dive right back into the crossover mayhem, giving us the thrill of a lifetime. Why? Because it's good business when they combine the forces of Chicago Fire, Med, and PD, and Wolf and NBC know what's up and they go all out to make these crossovers as realistic as possible. But hey, sometimes they take things a bit too far, like that plane crash. Yep, you heard that right. A staged plane crash that was so dang convincing that a local news station actually reported it as breaking news. Oops, someone forgot to pass the memo. News anchors Larry Potash and Robin Baumgarten from Channel 9 were reporting it, and they literally showed images of the accident and asked the viewers to hang on while they gathered info. When they found out the crash was a big old Hollywood setup, I couldn't help but laugh at their disappointed faces. Are you kidding me? Is all they could say. Poor Robin couldn't believe it and kept asking if this was some kind of joke. The Chicago Fire Department spokesman Larry Langford revealed that the info about the staged event didn't get to the right people, and there was a major miscommunication along the way, even if the masterminds behind Chicago Fire followed their usual protocol for these crazy scenes. The confusion didn't stop there, though. A real Chicago fire station got frantic calls about a plane crash that never happened. Can you imagine the disbelief on their faces when they found out? So there you have it. From a super realistic staged plane crash that led to actual panic in the city, to the cast being in their very own biker gang, those were Chicago Fire's most shocking behind-the-scene moments.